This is the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS show with John Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with Keith Eister. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook live show. We're looking at the Wednesday DraftKings 13-game main slate. Keith, my friend, how we doing, man?
Busy. This is a monster slate here, John. We've got anything you could possibly want for an NBA DFS slate here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, just to quote DFS buddy here already, too many good plays.
Indeed.
We kind of said that on the previous show last night with Grande and I. It's 13-game slate. You can kind of like almost play who you want, really, at this point. You know, there's a lot of injury news. You go check out the playbook that Keith has out on Fantasy Alarm. You'll see just the massive list of injuries. Just at the point guard position, you already see a whole bunch of guys that are questionable or out already at the top of the list. That just means there's a ton of ridiculous value on this slate as well. Some chalky plays people are getting to. 13 games right ahead of the All-Star break here. So, yeah, man, kind of an interesting spot to find ourselves in when it comes to some roster construction this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have Indiana and Sacramento who have basically rolled out their entire rotation. So you have massive value on both of those teams. And then we've got studs all over just because there's 13 games. Lots of questionable tags that we're still dealing with as well. So we don't even have all the good plays yet that we're going to have by the time lock rolls around here.
Yeah, 100%. Again, guys, we do appreciate you all tuning in with us here each and every day. Just realizing now that the title of the show still says Tuesday. I guess that was my fault here. Spell Wednesday real quick for me. There we go. We'll update that so people know that they're actually looking at today's show and not yesterday's show. From an ownership perspective, I mean, we have over 50% of the field playing Quentin Jackson, as we kind of would have expected. That's what happens when the Pacers roll out their guys. Devin Carter, 50% of the field going back to that well with Sacramento ruling out everybody that they have. Day'Ron Sharp's a big fan. You know, we're big Day'Ron Sharp fans here in terms of fantasy points per minute. Is Nick Claxton officially out yet, though?
Downgraded to doubtful, but I don't think officially out yet.
Yeah, so, I mean, that spot right there is just kind of open up a lot. So, you know, when we do the preview show, like, there's a lot of good centers on this slate. They're all currently listed as questionable, obviously, or probable. But there's a ton of value at the center position here as well. Sarr getting downgraded today. Could you put Vucevic back up in our spot here? So, I don't know, man. We'll do our best to break it down for you guys. It's a 13-game slate. There's so many players to go over. The roster combinations, the winning lineup tonight is going to be pretty crazy here. And we'll talk about it, like how much Indiana do you play today? How much Sacramento do you play today? And we'll go through it here. At the point guard position, you have Cade, Maxey, Brunson, and Harden, though. They're the top four priced guards on the slate.
Yeah, Cade looks really good. No Jalen Duren, no Isaiah Stewart. The suspensions came down from the brawl that they had there with Charlotte. So Cade is kind of the main dude. He's always the main dude, but he's especially the main dude here tonight. Not the best matchup against Toronto, but it does not matter for this guy. He's one of the best players in the world. I think he looks really good up there above 10K. Maxey, I'm not all that interested unless Embiid gets ruled out. Embiid's still questionable, missed last game. If Embiid gets ruled out, then we have to take a stronger look at Maxey. Brunson on the back-to-back, not the best spot against Philadelphia, who plays slow. I think Cade is very clearly ahead of the other two guys right below him. And then we get to Harden, who has not missed a beat with this Cavs team. Averaging over 22 points a game, over 7 assists through 2 games, and now he gets an absolutely elite matchup against Washington. So I think Harden looks really good as well. I'll leave it there, and then we'll break into these 8K guys as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, Harden, the numbers for Harden obviously offensively are great. You know, the assist numbers are giving you the double-digit rebounds. This is obviously a game also where Cleveland's expected to handle business pretty easily tonight, but we say that often, and then somehow we get some competitive games there. So I'm good with that. I'm pretty much in agreement with everything that you said there. If Embiid gets ruled out, Maxey bumps up the list for me. I do like Cade a lot here. If you are working your way down, you have Murray now under $9,000. You have Eamon Thompson. We'll talk about Booker at shooting guard. Rollins got downgraded to questionable today. Murphy's 82, White, and then LaMelo at 8K.
Yeah, a lot of really strong plays in this range as well. Jamal Murray is one of my favorite tournament pivots for two reasons. You save a little money on Cade, who I think is the top play at the position, at least in this top tier anyway. So nice little leverage there, and you get leverage on his popular teammate Nikola Jokic. And Murray has been going for 50 plus fantasy points even in games that Jokic is full go. So Murray's been awesome. I think the leverage spot is really good here. I'm not scared of this Memphis team at all.
No, I agree with you 100%. In Memphis, their two best players pretty much right now, they're only playing 20 minutes, right? And Scottie Pippen and Ty Jerome.
Yep.
So like even at that point, they're limiting themselves, missing some key pieces as well. I also really like Murphy. For me, again, I just keep riding the Murphy point prop. He was going to go well over it last game, but just a blow got in the way. 29 minutes, 21 points. It's set at 22.5 again. It's another really good spot in terms of pace for them here. Miami missing some pieces. I think Murphy at 82, really nice high scoring ceiling. And then LaMelo, down Bridges, we see him playing 30 minutes now. We just had this matchup against Atlanta. They could be down key pieces again today. It's a good price for LaMelo.
Yeah, those are the two that absolutely stick out for me as well. The fastest team in the league in Miami, missing a couple pieces as you mentioned, and LaMelo is just in the ultimate spot. The numbers look insane when you take Miles Bridges and Moussa Diabate off the floor. Usage rate is up over 37%. He's over 1.4 fantasy points per minute. So elite spot for LaMelo against a Hawks team that's below average defensively and plays really fast as well.
Yep, for sure. If you are working yourselves into the next tier 7K, KPJ, $7,900 against Orlando, had no problem in this spot the other day. You have Isaiah Collier at $7,800, Quickly 74. Let's see, and Suggs at 7K here.
Yeah, KPJ is a guy I've played a ton of lately, not going to stop now. Even if Rollins is in there, I think he's a tremendous play. He just does a little bit of everything with Giannis off the floor. Orlando has been an exploitable matchup as well from the guard position. So I really like KPJ today. Think that you get a nice ownership number on him. I'm kind of more interested in going down from this point. Sure. Suggs would be the only other name I'd call out here. Has played really well, playing up close to 30 minutes now, and I like the matchup against Milwaukee quite a bit.
As we mentioned, though, there is a lot of value at this position. I mean, I guess if is Daniels questionable here? Questionable. Daniels and Jalen Johnson or whatever, they all get ruled out. You saw McCollum have a huge game the other night. There would be some tournament interest for me there. But where do you kind of jump down to from this point?
Yeah, McCollum is like, that's what I'm talking about. Not even a name that's on the radar right now, but who becomes an awesome play if Daniels and Johnson get ruled out here in the next hour or so. Yeah. So just an abundance of awesome plays here today. The next name I'm looking at right now is Drew Holiday. He's played awesome for this team all season long. Obviously missed some time with injury. The minutes are coming back. Denny is still a little bit limited as well. Don't mind the matchup here against Minnesota. They've really struggled defensively over the past 5 or 6 games or so. Not sure exactly what's wrong there with Minnesota, but Holiday doing a little bit of everything for this Portland team. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, they got Scoot back, but he's obviously limited. And Drew Holiday still certainly playing. Where do you sit with Ty Jerome here? The minutes limit 20, right? His usage rate over these 5 games is 35%. Another 37 fantasy points, 38 fantasy points the other night. Denver's not a good defensive team. He just goes out there and fires. I mean, like, it's getting to a point where obviously the price is hurting a little bit, but like not if he's giving you 40, 43, and 38, right?
I keep not playing the guy, and he keeps just absolutely sticking it to me. So I don't know what to do at this point. I keep saying he can't continue to do this, and then he keeps continuing to do it. I love the spot against Denver. They are very below average defensively. They're missing 2 of their better defenders in Peyton Watson and Aaron Gordon. It's a really good spot. I hate that he's not going to play over 20 minutes. I don't know that I trust the efficiency. I'll sprinkle him in. I'll tell you that. I will probably try to be even with the field. I'm not sure how comfortable the field is going to him at 5,800. But it's not a comfortable spot for me. It's generally a play I would stay away from. Especially on a slate like this where there's massive value further down the list here.
Yeah, for sure. Grande likes Sexton at 51 last night. You have Igor at 5K. Fears is 46, and then Carter's the chalky play at 45.
Yeah, I like Sexton as well. 29% usage in his first 2 games with Chicago, 19 points per game. So that looks pretty nice. He's not doing a ton peripherally. It's not a great matchup against Boston, but still just a little bit underpriced for his role with his new team here. Dillman, I don't mind. Obviously, a fantastic matchup against a shorthanded Indy team. Not sure what kind of minutes we're going to get from him, but with no Porter, Cam Thomas not with the team any longer, there should be plenty of usage to go around for Dillman. So I don't mind that. Nothing I'm really interested in. Fears, I have slight interest. With Alvarado traded, there's room for a few more minutes here.
It's 30 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to continue at that level, but we should be able to see low 20s at least, I would think. And we talked about the pace up spot there. Devin Carter, all the Kings we're going to talk about. We talked yesterday about the Lakers situation and how they weren't short bodies necessarily. They were just short their stars. This Kings situation and the Pacers situation that we're going to talk about as well, these are completely different today. I don't think that you can fade these spots. I was largely successful in fading Lakers yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I will not be fading Kings or Pacers here on this slate. So Devin Carter, one of my highest owned guys.
Yep, for sure. And again, that's kind of where the field is. And then I believe they moved Jackson to shooting guard only.
Shooting guard small forward, I believe.
Shooting guard small
really
forward.
Nice. Yep.
Yeah, so we get that little thing there. Jackie, is it Jackie Jonas? Is that how we pronounce this one here? Minutes for him, pretty good.
Yeah, he's been shooting the ball insane as well. On a different slate, I would be extremely interested. Just a large field tournament pivot here in this one. He's been shooting a ton of threes and making a ton of threes, and we talk about this New Orleans team allowing the second most threes in the league. So it's a great spot for him. I think the minutes are a little volatile. Khalil Ware was in foul trouble last game, but they are still without Norman Powell, Tyler Hero, Pelle Larson as well. So definitely a path for him to play mid to upper 20s again. And he's definitely viable if he gets that level of run.
Anybody else a point guard for you?
Let's see here. No, I think that does it.
All right, we go to shooting guard. Shooting guard is kind of interesting because they gave Jaylen Brown shooting guard eligibility. Anthony Edwards, $9,700, but has the questionable tag on. Donovan Mitchell, $95. Durant, Ingram in that 8K tier. So the top 5 guys, all big names. A couple of them in good spots, a couple of them in not so good spots.
Yeah, the top 3 I have a ton of interest in. They're all in the good matchups. Brown gets the fast-paced Bulls who don't play any defense. Ant, same thing in Portland, fast-paced team, no defense. And then ditto again for Donovan Mitchell, maybe the best matchup of all 3 of them here against Washington. So I would say the blowout concerns me the most in Washington with the way this Cavs team has looked now that they've added Harden, but I'm not all that concerned about it. Like you said, teams keep these games close out of nowhere. We have things like what Wemby did last night, where he just absolutely nukes in only 26 minutes. So I will have plenty of Donnie Mitchell here in a great matchup.
Yeah, Grande messaged me last night. He's like, Wemby, question mark. Then I look at it, 25 points in 7 minutes. Like, what? Is Gamecast broken? What do you mean 25 points in 7 minutes here? So, I mean, absolute freak performance from a freak player. Then Durant and Ingram have the tougher matchups there. Obviously, I don't love going up against Detroit all that often. Toronto is a favorite in this game, or they were earlier. I don't know if the lines move back and forth, but it's been about a point and a half, like either way most of the day, I feel like. And Ingram's obviously a good player here. You have Booker at 83, but he's questionable in the back-to-back. KBJ, we talked about. NAW is someone that we just know scores the basketball, and then if guys are out of the lineup, it just kind of helps him even further. He's $7,500. I said it yesterday. I said this could be a Josh Hart rebounding game on this show. 11 rebounds, triple-double. Same situation, really. I would have no problem going to Josh Hart here tonight against Philadelphia.
Yeah, I don't love the spot necessarily on the back-to-back, but certainly. Is Mitchell Robinson back tonight? That might.
Yeah, he's back. That's true. Good point.
That does hurt him a little bit, but, I mean, Hart can still find his way to a triple-double on any given night, so I certainly don't mind that call-out. I don't have a ton of interest, if Jalen Johnson gets ruled out, or Dyson Daniels, or both of them. I think other than that, I'm good down to Con Knipple.
All right, go to Con then. $6,700. Bridges is out for the Charlotte Hornets tonight with that suspension. And obviously he is back to just knocking down a bunch of threes and scoring buckets.
Yeah, just an insane rookie season from this dude. We talked about the matchup. Historically, he hasn't gotten the same usage bump that LaMelo and Miller, who we'll talk about, get without Bridges and Diabate. But that doesn't concern me. He is cheap enough. He's a good enough shooter. He can find a ceiling alongside of a guy like Bridges. Now that you take Bridges off the court, that can only help him.
Yep, I agree with you 100% there. Scoring the basketball, as good as they come right now. Anything else below in that range, 6K? Again, a lot of players on the slate here tonight. So, like Oubre's had some good games. If Embiid sits, Bane's been pretty decent lately. Simon's $6,100, scoring the ball well, playing 30 minutes for Chicago. Anything there in 6K stand out?
Kind of a dead zone here. I think you could certainly play any of these guys. Oubre could find a ceiling. Bane could certainly find a ceiling. Anthony Simons could score a bunch of points. I think all of those guys are fine, but nothing more than large field tournament sprinkles because we have some elite value here yet to go.
Well, let's just get into, again, I keep saying, all right, let's get to value, but we still have like 40 players to talk about in the 5K range because of how many games are actually on this slate here. Working our way to Quentin Jackson, who's almost 60% here tonight, but Nick Clifford's third in ownership at $5,500. Talked about Sacramento being a team that's sitting everybody tonight.
Yeah, he's been playing a ton of minutes already, and now you take off 6 rotation players. Levine's been out, but now there's just Monk is out. There's all kinds of dudes out for Sacramento. He should play like 35 plus minutes in this spot. He's been really good as well. Not only is he playing a ton, he's producing, and this is the absolute best matchup in basketball. So just too cheap. Like a couple weeks ago, you say Nick Clifford is 5,500 and probably feel like you can't touch him.
Yeah.
But with what he's been doing here recently, he's too cheap at that price.
I would agree with you as well. Other ownership plays in this range. Colin Sexton has a dual eligibility. He's up over 10%. Not really a lot. It just jumps down into that value range like we talked about. Quentin Jackson, who's 3,800. Devin Carter, dual eligibility. Talon Peters, min price 3K. He's around 16% here. Let's see. Cam Jones, another guy around 10%. Like, what are your thoughts as we just hit the value range?
Yeah, I'm interested in anybody on Indiana. They could potentially have 8 guys available. They have 9 currently, with Potter and Walker still listed questionable. One of those will have to be active. Even if both of them are active, still only 9 available. I would say Cam Jones is probably my least favorite of them, even though he probably starts at point guard and plays 30 minutes in this spot. He's been so low per minute, even when they've been shorthanded. So one of my lesser owned Pacers. Let's see, where else did I want to go? A guy I don't think anyone is talking about right now is Julian Strawther, who I would absolutely love again if Spencer Jones gets ruled out. He's questionable. So keep an eye on that. It's kind of a sneaky play. Obviously, everyone knows about Sacramento and Indiana, but Strawther has kind of just flew under the radar all day long. He's been awesome without Spencer Jones since he jumped into the starting lineup. So I love Strawther as a low-owned play if we can sneak that one past the field. I don't mind Herb Jones as a pivot in this range. Sam Merrill is another guy who I think could find a ceiling from the starting lineup.
Merrill's a guy I used to love playing. Obviously, the shots just aren't there anymore because Harden's taken a lot of them. But yeah, you're right. He could go out there and knock down 5 threes tonight, and you'd be like, yeah, of course, it's a great spot for him to do so. So I don't mind that.
Landry Shamet with OJ Anunoby out again. Sure. Played a bunch of minutes last night. Should start again.
The Clippers plays. If they end up sitting like Kawhi on a back-to-back and guys like that, you have Kobe Sanders down here at 43. Was Kispert small forward? Must have been small forward. That was another guy I was potentially looking at if guys were ruled out. And again, Quentin Jackson 60% owned tonight. So
way too cheap, and 60% is not enough. That's a guy I'm going over the field on at 60%.
Okay. Let's go on over to the small forward position then. Up at the very top again, there is Kawhi. There's no injury designation on him. It's just that they have sat him on back-to-backs. Maybe they do it now going to the All-Star break. I guess at this point, probably not. We would have known already. So assume he's in at 10K. Jaylen Brown, Kevin Durant here. Jalen Williams is back, but he was on a minutes limit the other day. Laurie, as we know, won't play the fourth. So, I mean, do you take any of those players, or do you just start at Brandon Miller?
I mean, you can always take shots on Kawhi and Durant for the ceiling, but I don't particularly love the spot for either of them. Houston is a little less healthy than they were yesterday. DFS has been ruled out already, and Tari Eason is on the injury report, questionable, has not played in any of the last 3 back-to-backs. So if Eason is out, then Durant becomes slightly more appealing. We talked about the tough matchup for Kawhi yesterday. He struggled, runs it back today. Now on the back-to-back, don't love an aging player on a back-to-back, so I probably skip Kawhi on this massive slate. Okay. Brandon Miller is definitely the guy that we need to talk about. I talked about the usage bump for LaMelo, almost as big of a usage bump for Brandon Miller. He's up squarely in the 30, I believe it's like 34, 35% range on the usage. Great matchup with no Bridges and no Diabate, a smash spot for him.
Yep, I like it. Can't go Wagner with the minutes limit. We talked Josh Hart already. You do have DeRozan, somehow the last man standing of veterans here for Sacramento. I don't know if you're concerned about any sort of rest for him at some point in this game or not, but it would be a spot. We've seen it this year where he ends up having like a ceiling game kind of out of nowhere when no one else is on the floor. Any thoughts on DDR?
Yeah, really concerned about the minutes. They've really pulled back on him to get a good look at these young guys. That's really what they should be doing.
What they should do, yeah.
Yeah, DeRozan is not going to be part of the next good Sacramento Kings team. So I think he's in that 25 to 30 minute range, and that's not quite enough, even though it's an elite matchup.
Okay. Dylan Brooks was good again last night. Again, tougher matchup for him going up against OKC, but Jalen Green and Booker may set out this one. We know he has like a 40% usage rate in those scenarios. 6,800 for him. Jaquez, Mikal Bridges. Is it going to be the 50-point Sadiq Bey game or not? You figure that one out. What are your thoughts on this 6K tier?
Yeah, Dylan Brooks is really interesting because I think he's a fantastic play if Booker and Jalen Green get ruled out. Even with the tough matchup, he's going to get his shots up. So nobody playing him right now. That could turn into something later on, a nice sneaky play there. Barrett, I don't mind, was up to 30 minutes again. Not a great matchup, but a nice price tag for what Barrett can do. Don't think I'm chasing Sadiq Bey. Good, he's been incredible, like you mentioned, has had an awesome ceiling, but don't think I'm chasing it on the slate.
Yeah, if you're playing 20 lineups, maybe you get one Sadiq Bey in just in case he goes for 50 or something like that. We just get Hawks news, though. Both Johnson and Daniels are in tonight. So healthy Hawks here today.
All right. That works for me. I don't think we need any more value.
I would agree with you. Jaden McDaniels is down there. Let's see. Soares 59. I mean, did any of these names stick out to you as we work our way into the value range?
Nothing here. Ace Bailey's been playing a ton, but I just don't love the price on him now. He has not been susceptible to the tanking fourth quarter, sitting out the fourth quarter that the other guys have been treated to. I think it's just down to Jarris Walker for me. And we'll see if he plays, obviously carrying that questionable tag. As I mentioned, one of them has to be active between Walker and Potter.
Yeah.
So I'm really nervous if one of them doesn't start. The
other one just doesn't play.
Yeah, like if one of them gets ruled out and then the other one is active but not starting, I would be really, really concerned about that guy actually seeing the floor. Just something to note. Obviously, if they're in there and starting, then no concern whatsoever.
Yeah, for sure. All right. From an ownership perspective at this position, again, it was QJ, Dries, Nick Clifford. When it comes to ownership here, what else are we possibly looking at for some value here?
You cut out at the end there. You said Dries.
Oh, okay.
Neek, and then I didn't hear anything after Neek.
All right. Well, first let me give a shout out to our guy I see through you for gifting all of these these memberships here. Appreciate you, Kenji, Ryan, Ashley getting a membership, Mike getting a membership, Nathan also getting a membership. All thanks to our guy I see through you, Justin. Love that here. I'm on some shaky internet here, so I cut out. I do apologize. Anthony had a question: better guard play with the super chat of Brunson, KBJ, or Maxey?
That is KPJ for me. As long as Embiid is in, save a little bit of money. I think the ceiling is just as good.
Yeah.
And even bigger gap there if Rollins gets ruled out.
Can we get a 3-man show? Potentially. Maybe a preview show. It's kind of hard to do a 3-man show at a live show, but maybe we can swing together a preview show at 3-man. Those shows end up being a little bit longer because Grande talks for a very long time. All right. So what I was saying before, I guess I got cut out because I did hear myself kind of click in and out. From an ownership perspective at small forward is Jackson, Walker, Clifford, then Jaylen Brown. So Jaylen Brown seemingly is a spend up for us at this position. Brandon Miller, Taylon Peter, Kobe Brown is the other one at 10% here. Again, you just said all Pacers. Kobe Brown's the other Pacer popping up here, and they were someone that they acquired in that trade with Ivica Zubac.
Yeah, I have a ton of interest in Kobe Brown here because he's a lot lower owned than somebody like Quentin Jackson or Micah Potter.
Mm-hmm.
If Walker or Potter gets ruled out, I think Kobe Brown could start. He's been pretty solid per minute in his career. If he jumps into the starting lineup, he jumps into like the Quentin Jackson tier of Pacers goodness.
Yep, I'm with you. Was there any other small forwards you want to chat about here?
Let's see here. No, I do not. We haven't really touched on Peter, another Indiana piece. Yeah. Just he did play 29 minutes last time they were in this situation. I will note that Kobe Brown was not on the team for that game. So potentially maybe a cut in his minutes, but he should be out there for 20 plus at least. At minimum price, I'm willing to throw a dart.
Yep, I'm in agreement with you on that one there. Again, just getting your exposure where you can. If you're making multi lineups, it allows you to get a little bit more risky and take on some of that variance. If you go to power forward, Jalen Johnson is now in at 10-7. Let's see, we got some more injury news here. Ryan Rollins is officially out. Pete Nance is in for the Bucks here. So we'll see what happens with that starting lineup with Rollins out. Giddey officially out for Chicago, as we kind of assumed. So we'll keep those injury news pieces coming in for you. Trey Jones as well. All right, so Johnson 10-7. You have Şengün on the back-to-back at 94, questionable. Scotty Barnes, Denny, who came back and ripped the other night, and then Banchero at 9K.
Yeah, all these guys have elite ceiling, obviously. I wouldn't call any of them my main spend-up today, but certainly would not fault you if you were in love with any of the 4 or 5 there. All of them have elite ceiling, like I mentioned.
Yeah, Jalen Johnson, just insane whenever he's on the floor. Triple-double.
Absolutely. There. Yep. I would say Denny is probably my favorite of the group. I mentioned the step backwards in defense from Minnesota, just not a team that's quite right. Also, we are kind of getting the discount for the minutes restriction. Denny is a player who's been up around 97, 9,800 at times this season. Down at 9,200, he doesn't need to play his 36 minutes. He can play 30, 32 minutes and still get there. We just saw it last game.
Agreed. All right, if we go to the mid-range, we do have Zion still at 8K. Just a price tag that they just kind of leave him at, I guess, now. Yeah. And it's a decent spot against Miami. Is that the only one for you in this range? I mean, we can't really play any of the Utah guys, so.
Julius Randle is certainly on my radar. Especially, I mean, if Ant is out, then Julius Randle becomes what KPJ just became. Like you take a star player off the court who gets 30% plus usage, and the other star on the court just absolutely skyrockets. So Randle in a great matchup against Portland. I'm interested even if Ant plays. Without Ant, Randle's one of the top plays on the entire slate.
Yep, for sure. We go down a little bit further into the value range. Ownership for this position. Jarice, Potter, Clowney is actually getting some ownership. He's probable for today, so it looks like he's going to be in. Precious Achiuwa is around 20%. Grant Williams, someone Grant and I talked about last night. I thought he would be a little bit more, but I guess I didn't take into account just all the value that the Pacers are going to have. He's around 14%, and Dylan Cardwell around 10% here today. So if you're looking for some value plays, where are you looking to go?
Yeah, lots of value here. I think you could target any number of them. Tobias Harris, a name you didn't mention, he should play 34 minutes maybe tonight with no Stewart there to take away from him. Yeah. No Duren as well.
And no Holland.
Not a play
right?
that I love, but what's that?
Holland's out too.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm thinking like mid-30s for Tobias tonight. Not that I love him as a play, as a ceiling play necessarily, but the situation doesn't get much better for him. Cardwell is the very obvious play for me. The matchup against Utah, an extremely shorthanded Sacramento team. He's been playing 30 minutes, even with alongside Reynaud or Sabonis when he's in there.
Yeah.
Cardwell just has a locked-in role at this point, and it's the best matchup in basketball. So I feel really good about Dylan Cardwell.
Yeah, they're going to have a whole fourth quarter against backups. So, really great opportunity for him there. You do have Gigi at $5,400 against Denver. We've talked about their struggles defensively as well. If Huff ends up starting, if he ends up being the guy, then you probably feel a little bit better about him at 52. Danny Wolf's $5,100. Any other value plays down here that you'd look at?
Yeah, I like Huff and Wolf both. Especially if either of them starts, or if Potter gets ruled out, Huff might have to play 30 plus minutes tonight. I do think Kobe Brown could run at the center a little bit, would probably play the backup, which might prevent him from starting. It'd be interesting if Potter gets ruled out, what Indiana decides to do. But Huff is in play regardless, obviously gets stronger if Potter does get ruled out. Wolf and Noah Clowney you mentioned as well, who I really like. The minutes haven't been as strong for Clowney recently.
Just officially ruled in Noah Clowney. Nick Claxton officially ruled out tonight.
Perfect. So no Claxton, no Michael Porter Jr. Clowney is probably the next guy up on the usage rung. We'll obviously talk about the center in just a second here as well. But Clowney should play close to 30 minutes, and matchups don't get much better. I mean, it's basically a G League team that they're playing against here in Indiana.
Yep. With the SAR downgrade, does Will Riley interest you at all here? I mean, I know it's not like a position for position swap, but he is a guy that was getting some extra burn here the last couple of games.
He's okay. I wouldn't put him in the tier of Indiana or Sacramento, I don't think, but I mean, you can't just play those guys in every single lineup, so I don't hate it as a tournament pivot.
Okay. And then I mentioned Precious is getting some ownership. Taylor Hendricks played 25 minutes and had a double-double the other day. They don't have Aldama again. I mean, they don't have any bigs on this team. Taylor Hendricks could by default maybe their center. So he won't start, but I mean, off the bench, he looked pretty good there.
It's just wild. I mean, obviously we're going to talk about Jokic, but it's going to be Hendricks and Kyle Anderson at the 5. I think. It's not going to go well.
Doesn't seem
Jokic is on 1B watch tonight for sure for 25 in the first quarter.
Yeah, the problem with that though is he's unlike Wemby. Jokic also content of racking up 15 assists in the first quarter as well. Like he doesn't need to score. And then again, Grant Williams is here, $3,800. Just a guy that could start tonight, play 25 minutes. As much as we like the meme on Grant Williams, he does have games where he's a serviceable fantasy player because he can stretch the floor a little bit. He does rebound a little bit. So I don't hate him if you just throw him in your mix of value plays tonight.
Yeah, we've played some Grant Williams at value prices in the past. It's been a while. He's obviously dealt with that long-term injury. Yep. But back in the fold, has been productive in the past. So definitely don't hate that at all. Nice lower owned pivot from the Indiana guys. And honestly, he's in just as good of a situation.
Yep. All right, let's go to center. We had a lot of comments, obviously, as well. Some people wanted to talk about center position specifically. We will. James asked that I missed the Dayron part of the show. Not yet. You're getting to it. All right. So top of the center group, though. I mean, Jokic, Embiid, and Şengün and Bam are all in really great spots at really different price points. I mean, I love the discount on Embiid if he plays today over Joker because they've been, as Grande pointed out, it seems like 33 minutes is currently the cap. And if they're up 40, they may be even more inclined to not give them that much. Embiid, though, has been fantastic. So if he ends up playing, I kind of like Embiid in the savings, even though you don't need the savings today because there's so much value to get the Joker. But, it's hard to argue what Embiid's been doing here.
It is hard to argue. I'm a little concerned about sitting out last game, and it wasn't a back-to-back. Mm-hmm. So maybe something has popped back up with the health. And that's really what's been carrying this amazing stretch that he's been on. He's been able to play mid-30s minutes again. Now the price tag, he's fully priced again, where we were getting him around $9K a week or two back before this really hot stretch. I certainly don't mind it, though. Embiid can obviously go for 50 fantasy points in any matchup. Jokic is the one that just clearly stands out. We talked about the Memphis front court. but the field is getting there at an extremely high clip as well. And he's at a price where he can't just go out there and give you 55. You need 65 or 70 from him.
Okay. And yeah, for sure. And obviously super capable of doing it.
Oh, yeah.
I really like this spot for Bam. I wrote up his over 1.5 threes for today just because it's the Pelicans and, he's been taking 6 a game. But, I mean, hard to argue with the overall production. Really great spot for him against the Pelicans here tonight. No Norm, as you mentioned, no Hero. I know they're playing Khalil Ware, but, Bam posted Khalil Ware the other day. So, $8,700. Give me some Bam Adebayo tonight.
Yeah, I don't mind it. The problem I'm having is this is an absolutely loaded position. Obviously, I want a ton of Jokic. I want some Embiid. There's another guy a little bit cheaper that I want. And then when we get to the 5K range, it's just absolutely loaded with guys who would be the best play on any other slate. There's like half a dozen centers who legitimately would be the best play on any given slate if they weren't all on the same slate.
1,000% in agreement with you. And that was what Grande and I had trouble with yesterday as well. There's 4 centers at the 5K range that would all be the best player per dollar potentially tonight.
Still 2 more that I want to talk about here in the 7K range. Onyeka Okongwu has a massive ceiling. He's playing Charlotte without Diabate. Kalkbrenner can't play more than 32 minutes probably. So going to get some backup run. I'm not exactly sure who is even.
I think it's going to be Grant Williams. I think it's going to be small ball Grant. I think
could be. Which I mean, that's an awesome spot for Okongwu. The guy that I absolutely adore tonight is Jared Allen. He's back up playing over 32 minutes. He's played 32 in each of the last 2. Washington is a very exploitable matchup for big men, and with the addition of James Harden, we are just seeing a different Jared Allen. Obviously, Harden is one of the best pick and roll guards in the entire league, which benefits Allen. No Evan Mobley in his way. An absolutely elite matchup. On any other slate, I would just be jamming Jared Allen, but struggling to get to him because we still have all 4 of those 5K guys to talk about. Plus, there's Jokic on the slate, plus Embiid. Just a disgusting amount of riches here at the center position tonight.
Absolutely. Let's just get into the 5K tier because of the 4 that we picked yesterday, and I guess now there's 5 because we weren't sure on the Duran news yet, but you have Paul Reed at 55, you have Mamu at 54, you have Cardwell at 53, you have Sharp at 52, Ware at 51, and Ray No at 5K. Kalkbrenner is also $4,900. Like all of those centers.
Yeah, I didn't even write up Kalkbrenner. That's how loaded this range is because I'm not getting to him because the other 5 are just even better than that. Like any other slate, Kalkbrenner would be the absolute top value on the slate. We have here a bunch of guys who in their current situations are like 1.3 fantasy point per minute players, and they're all live to play over 30 minutes. It's just an absolutely loaded range. I think you're playing double center on most of your DraftKings lineups. Just with as strong as this range right here is, one of these guys puts up 40 fantasy points, and it's just like I had to have it score, and every one of them is live to do that. I don't know how you rank them. It's extremely tough. They're all elite. I think Day'Ron Sharp is, if I had to pick one where I know I'm going to be overweight on the guy. We've seen Sharp play 30 minutes in this situation in the past. He is one of those 1.3 fantasy points per minute guys. The spread, it's not often you see a team rest their entire rotation and the spread is only 6.5. Usually we're getting double digit spreads in that spot. But Brooklyn is also down, guys. They're tanking as well. I don't necessarily have any reservations about the game staying close. I think it's going to be a competitive game with a whole roster on both sides that is just underpriced. So Sharp, I feel really good about. Obviously, the foul trouble comes into play with these guys as well. So, and there's so many of them, you can't lock anyone in. But I feel great about Sharp being amongst the top point per dollar scorers on the slate. Paul Reed, we've seen smash in this matchup as well. Being the most expensive of this group, I think he comes in at a very nice ownership number. Again, this is a guy who would be like 40, 50% owned on a normal slate. Maybe one of these guys gets to that level, but when there's 4, 5, 6 of them, there's just they can't all be that owned. So there's going to be incredible opportunity to play some ownership games here. Khalil Ware is another guy. We've seen him just absolutely smash. It's an elite matchup against New Orleans. last game he started, he only played 14 minutes, but he was in massive foul trouble the whole game. Ended up fouling out of the game in 14 minutes. I think he's live to play 30 minutes if he starts again, and I expect him to. With New Orleans running two bigs out there, why wouldn't Miami counter with that? So Ware is live to play 30 minutes.
Yeah.
We just saw what Maxime Reynaud did. Absolutely destroyed this Pelicans team. 38 minutes, 21 and 19. I don't know that you get that level from him again, but I think he's live to play mid-30s minutes again.
And he can't do it. We've seen not just this matchup, but we've seen him have big games earlier this season when given opportunities to kind of play at 29 and 11 against Portland. It's funny when we talked about this, I think it was me and Grande, he was in our card. I was like, yeah, for $100 more, I think it was on that slate, you could like pivot to Reynaud as like at like 50% less ownership. And then Reynaud went off and had a huge game. And then again, Kalkbrenner's there at 49, going to play, say, conservatively 25 minutes, got to give him at least that much, I would assume. So, I don't even know how you really rank a lot of these guys once you get past Sharp and whatnot, but they're all very good plays here this evening. Basically the summation of it all.
Yeah, I mean, all live to go like 8x their salary.
100%. So glad I'm only playing FanDuel. Yeah, FanDuel, half those guys probably have power forward eligibility too.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid officially out tonight.
Man.
Now add in Drummond to this mixture. Andre Drummond at $4,500, 27 and 29 minutes the last two games. Gets the Knicks here.
Because we needed another elite center value.
Yeah. The cheapest of the bunch so far.
Cheapest of the bunch. Yeah, I mean, the price is what's really attractive. I would say it seemed like he fell out of favor there for a while, but now we've seen it 2 games in a row that when Embiid is out, he's just going to get the run. So I think as long as he's starting, you feel pretty comfortable about it.
I would agree with you. Again,
big
it
bump
doesn't
for
even make
Maxey
sense.
too, obviously.
Yeah, huge for Maxey. And obviously, again, usually we kind of throw darts at some value plays here. If Pirtle's out, Grande had thrown Trace Jackson Davis out there. Any thoughts?
I don't think I'm messing with anything like that tonight. The 5K range is just so elite that I just want as much exposure to that range that I can get.
Okay. Let's see here. We had someone Tolo Smith. Where's Tolo? There he is. Playing some Tolo, 26 minutes, 9 and 14. If we're not on the Paul Reed train.
Oh man. See, I think that's too cute on the slate. Normally I'm all about that. I love finding the low owned guys who can absolutely
have a min price, like it's just go play Mo Wagner. He's gonna come on the floor, he's gonna take 100 shots in 10 minutes and have yourself a night.
Yeah. Not the slate for those type of guys.
No. Andrew says, let's see our lineup choices.
Right.
So what we did Grande made us put Anthony Edwards in the lineup. I wanted to just build like a non-spend up lineup and let them just pick their own spend up, choose their own adventure. You said double center. I almost agree with you, but like that, does that mean double value centers or like you wanted Jokic, right? So it's like, but now we have like Drummond's in the mix, like there's so much value here. You have to, I think that's why Jaylen Brown's like 20% is people are just kind of like playing Jaylen Brown or playing Cade, and then going with the value everywhere else.
Yeah, because you plug in if you plug in 2 5K centers and then Indiana value and Sacramento value, you're left with all the money in the world, literally.
Literally, I agree with you. All right, so Sharp
maybe
and
not
who?
literally, but Sharp and boy. What do you have for ownership on these guys? I think
actually that's a great call. Let's check out I was reading the ownership for everybody else, and the last guy I looked up in ownership was Salon just to see if anybody was playing him. All right, so Sharp is 35%. Jokic is number 2 at 24%. Micah Potter, I did it again. Michael Potter, 20%. Reynaud, 20%. Paul Reed is 20%. So that's more than 100% ownership. I don't know how that maths, but and then Khalil Ware is 12%. Cardwell's 12%. So there's your little bit of a Where is your contrarian play of that group if you wanted to go there?
And I think he has as high of a ceiling as anybody,
Right.
especially with given the matchup. So if we're
So
looking to be a little bit different, I
So
don't mind that at all.
Carter,
And that's only going to go down now because I don't think that Drummond's ownership is factored in there.
Yeah, not factored in yet. No. So we do Carter, Jackson, and what, like Cade?
Is that the Jackson you meant to put in? You want Quentin Jackson?
Nope.
Right?
Yeah, I want the other Jackson. That's even cheaper. So like, there he is. $7K a player for your power forward, guard, and forward position, and there's so much more value that you can put into your lineup here.
And Kevin Porter Jr. and Tyrese Maxey just got massive bumps as well. So like those two are going to be core pieces for me as well.
Yeah, honestly, you don't even have to go to Cade if you don't want to anymore. You can go up and play Maxey, and save yourself some money. Cade actually in the last update, it's only 14%. Like what's the
so right now in my single entry shell I have Jokic and Sharp, and I'm probably going to come off of that now that we've gotten some news here on the show. I still love Jokic, don't get me wrong, but there's just way too many good center plays.
When it comes to ownership without the most recent news factored in with the Embiid news, Jokic 22%, Brown 17%. Those are the top two owned spend up players. So and then it kind of drops down 10% and under basically for everybody else. Jalen Johnson's 8%, Cade is 14%, Edwards is 12%, Maxey is currently at 4%. I assume that jumps up to like 10-12% probably in that same range. Maybe he cuts into Jaylen Brown a little bit more, but all right, we'll sit here. Cade, Carter, Jackson, Sharp, Ware. Guys, you can build this 100 different ways tonight. It's 13 games. Again, we're not trying to cop out here. Check out the playbook. Get into Discord. Stay tuned to all the updates. The Prince, get us into Discord for your FanDuel play. We'll give you there. Whole playbook's been written. Keith spent all day writing it, so his FanDuel plays are there for you, the Prince. Tulo Smith or Watford? Crab Shingun wants to know. My question is why?
Why exactly? Yeah, that's too cute on the slate.
Yeah, but I guess Watford, but like but again, why? Why would you want to Carlo? Why would you want to play Carlo on this slate? There's so much more value out there. So, all right, guys, we do appreciate you. We have the 3-gamer for tomorrow. We'll be back for then.